So I'm not sure what the cops are gonna do. Hey guys, Sal here. So Ghost Reaper Girl Chapter 22 is out, and it is called I'm Sorry. Yes, that is the actual title of this chapter. To quickly summarize the chapter, Nyarla's personal spy, Scarface, aka Kitsune with a scar, starts beating the shit out of the Dagon. Scarface calls Chloe a dimwit. Scarface works together with Shaggy to fight the Dagon. Chloe does her best to help out the civilians. The Popo shows up and are incredibly confused. Our heroes get knocked down, and then the chapter ends with Chloe making a stand. Now that is a quick summary of the chapter, but obviously there's more stuff going on here. Firstly, let's talk about the glaring thing that I pointed out, which I think is funny. What are these cops going to do? What are they going to do against this? As far as we know, they're just normal guys. And also, who called these guys? Did someone call them and say that there's a giant monster lurking around? But again, that doesn't make any sense, as they are just surprised as anybody else could be. So maybe they were just hanging around when they heard some stuff going on. That's the only possibility that makes sense to me. So getting over that little aspect that I think is funny, there is actually a reason why these cops are here, I speculate, and it's done beautifully. Without having to shove it down our throats, this chapter communicates to us why we should be rooting for Chloe. When this supernatural entity lashes out, it pushes both innocent bystander and cop to the ground. Effectively, we are learning of how dire the situation is. As represented by the bystander, regular people will not be able to stand up together on their own to face this threat, and as represented by the police officer, neither will our government. Neither the natural law that says that it is justified for the people to fight against tyranny, nor the agreed upon law for justice is strong enough to suffice against this threat. Thus, it is explained to us that the only way to fight this threat is for heroes to stand up on their own. Mankind needs a hero, that person being Chloe. As a hero, she displays the heroic law, in that sometimes individuals need to stand up against threats that neither regular people nor governments agencies can, even if it means that at times they are putting themselves against them or even contradicting their own rules. Just think of Batman and you know what I'm talking about. And now when you look at how Chloe has concern for both the bystanders and the police officers, wanting them to be protected but also wanting them not to interfere, it becomes pretty clear that she is representing herself as a hero following the heroic law. So to really boil it down, this chapter presents Chloe as a hero, why we should root for her as a hero, and also the fact that no matter how much she gets bruised or beaten down, she's gonna stand up against a threat. So that is the heart of the chapter, but now let's talk about some other details, like the name of the chapter. The chapter is called I'm Sorry, and it's clear why it's called that. The chapter is called I'm Sorry because Chloe feels responsibility for both the bystanders and the popos getting hurt, and she feels like she could have done something to prevent that. That makes complete sense to me, but I just have a problem with naming this chapter I'm Sorry when it's kind of just really subdued. Like, what are you going to do later on when something super devastating happens or there's a betrayal? What are you going to do? You're going to call it I'm Sorry number 2? I mean, you can, but that doesn't really feel that impactful. It seems like a continuation of I'm Sorry. Pretty much, I understand the reasoning, but you could have saved this title for something for the future, or something super impactful. So it's just a strong statement. I'm Sorry is super strong. I'm not sure why you would use it here. Like, when something like that happens in the future, what are you going to do? You can't say I'm sorry too. You could just say apology, but again, that's not as strong as I'm sorry. So maybe I'm just being a nitpicky asshole as usual, but that's just my thoughts. The last thing that I want to talk about is Scarface's ability. Scarface can turn his soul into projectiles and attack from a distance. That's all cool and all, but it just makes me wonder, what is the price of this? What is the price of him using this ability? If your soul is the manifestation of your spiritual self, not just, your physical self, but what you're gonna go from on, like your immortal soul, your immortal self that's kind of bound to your physical self, and you're basically spending or using it as weapons or just discarding it, that's gotta have a toll, maybe not on your body, but a toll on you. There must be something there. Like, I don't think it would make sense you can just use that and have no consequence. Like, maybe perhaps, again, we're just learning about this now really, but maybe perhaps Scarface doing this is literally just shedding his soul off over and over and over again. And I just wonder what effect does it have? Is it basically just killing him and he's gonna die in a fight someday from doing this? Or maybe he just, because he seems kind of mean in the chapter, maybe it just took away all of his personality and there's a cop going by. Guess there's some, I don't know what the cop's gonna do. Hopefully they don't fight any giant monsters, but that's just my thoughts on it. Anyway, interesting chapter, cool stuff going on. Really like how it really represents Chloe as the hero, and here's her heroic law. This is what's going on. Glad I liked the chapter, and hope to see you guys again. See ya.